Hello Yuki Bandits, so here we are, first video of 2022. Yes, I've been away for a little while due to being quite unwell before and after Christmas, but I'm back now with a vengeance, and to kick us off we've got a nice easy tune that everyone should recognise and all ages can play, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So the reason for choosing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is quite simply it's a nice easy tune, and it follows on nicely from my last video where I spoke about scales and we talked about the importance of learning the C scale. So this song is in the key of C, and the melody uses the notes from the scale of C. So it's a really nice way of then developing your skill and technique playing the scale and getting more familiar to the scale notes themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the song and have a listen, and then I'm going to just give you a little bit of a guide on how to approach it. Here we go. There you go. Okay, so yes, it sounds simple, but if you're not used to playing scales, then it will be a little bit tricky to start with playing singular notes, obviously if you're just used to playing chords. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the approach for playing the song with the right hand and then the left hand. So for the right hand, place your thumb on the G, and then you're going to have your first finger on that C string, second on the E, third on the A, and the point of that will be to make sure you're covering all the notes that you need to play. And if you get used to playing it in that way, as opposed to just using a single finger or single thumb or single pick, which most people naturally want to do to start with because it seems easier, but unfortunately as you get further in and you try and play things that are more technically difficult, that becomes not only more challenging but less efficient, especially if you want to do things like you want to play you want to strum and then go into finger picking and then combine little runs and little patterns within the chord. Having a finger covering each note means you don't even have to look at the strings. You don't have to be like looking at your accuracy and looking down to check where you are. You can more or less just have the fingers just sitting on those strings or feeling where the four notes are. So learn this approach from first, second, third fingers, and then you're covering those 4-digit cover the first 4 strings. And then when you're playing this first part of the song, which goes, it's just open strings, which are going C, C, G, G, and then we're playing the A, G. See how I'm doing that with just these the fingers there, look. So just doing that with the fingers basically sitting on each string, that is the most efficient way. And then when we look at the left hand, if you can cover for the frets especially, 1, 2, 3, 4, make sure you're holding the 4 frets with the 4 fingers. Now we're only playing the first and the second fret, but if you get used to having all fingers across, then it's the same idea as this end. If you wanted to play the first fret, third fret, second fret, fourth fret, whatever fret it is, your fingers are covering it, so there's less effort being made to make sure your fingers are in the right place. And if that's happening this end and that end, it means you can spend more time. You probably noticed when I was playing for it, I didn't look at my hand very much or my fingers very much. I was more looking at the music. And if you know the piece fairly well, you don't have to even look at the music that much. You can just look out and look like you're enjoying yourself. So the idea would be to make sure you got each finger, so that when you play that second part, which is the third bar and the fourth bar and the first row there, you can see I've got the first finger, second finger, and then open, and it's really the same as playing the C major scale. So when I'm playing the C major scale, up and down, I'm making sure I've got a finger in a specific fret, the first and the first, second and the second, third and the third, and that makes it a lot easier and more efficient to play the scale. So we've got those two things combined. The other thing is learning to read the notes. And when I mean read the notes, you don't have to learn the pitches so much because it's written down in tab here. We know this is a C string, G string, A string, G string. And if we've learnt our scale, we know this is F, E, D and C. So we can learn the note names, and that covers the pitching, and where it's placed on the lines in space gives us the pitching in music. But we don't really need to know that. But not understanding the timing of the pattern, I mean, obviously most people know Twinkle Little Star, but as the songs get more difficult, knowing the timing of these notes, in other words, this is a crotchet. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in this one here we've got 2 crotchets, and this note's called a minim. It's a 2-beat note. I know that this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're on the next bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. That rings for 2 beats. So I know if I follow the music, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It helps me keep in time. I'm not guessing where that ring note is. I can go 3, 4, and I know exactly where I am. And also, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and counting along with it, I'm not playing it. I'm not going to get quicker on some notes, and longer and shorter on some notes. It's going to be more consistent. If you know the song fairly well, like this is a fairly straightforward one, you don't have to know that information as much because it's kind of in your head. But if you use it on a simple song that is easy and you do know really well, it kind of makes the music make more sense. So in other words, you'll start to go, oh, I understand why those notes are written that way. So a crotchet is just a 1-beat note. So you're literally playing 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the minim is the only other note that's in there, which is a 2-beat note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So they ring basically twice as long. So that at that point, I think that's all you need to know. And learning the note names, if you've learnt the C major scale, then you're already kind of doing that, learning the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, where they are, and knowing your note names and knowing where C, D, E, F, G, A, and B and C are is quite important if you want to basically get better at playing melody lines and adopting like single notes into your chords. So anyway, a lot of information there just for something like Twinkle Little Star. Seems like crazy, but at the same time, there's many levels. So if you're new and you just want to learn to play the song, just learn to read those notes, and if you can adopt the finger positions and the fret positions that I showed you, that enable you to play it way more efficiently. Obviously, you can learn to play the chords along with the accompaniment as an accompaniment to the tune if you were singing it. But I think what we'll do in the next video is something a little bit more challenging, where you got some chords and notes put together. So see how you get on with this, and if you find it quite easy, then you can try the next video. If you're finding this challenging enough, like I said, just work on the first 4 bars. That would be the most important part to start with, and then you'll notice a bit of repetition, and it should get quite easy after that. And that's it really for this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you very soon.